Handle's completely broken, shattered here, here, over here.
Alright guys, so I'm back again in the workshop. I'm gonna scrap pretty much all of day 2. We're on day 3 now. Day 2 was a complete mess. I was trying to make a brooch tool. That didn't really work out too well. Kind of worked, but not very great. And then, alright, so I'll show you my progress because I worked on the handle mostly yesterday. That was day 2. So this is where I was at, and I'm leaving that nice little rough end. Got all that bored out and everything. Had everything ready to be pinned and glued up. I had everything dry fit together. It looked pretty nice. I was thinking about maybe adding a little bolster on there, but I wasn't at that stage yet. So literally what I was doing is I have a finish belt on my grinder right now, and I was just slack belt kind of polishing up the handle just to see what it looked like. So I took a step back to admire my handiwork, and I don't know what I tripped on, but I tripped. It was bad. So I fell on, I cleaned up a little bit just to get stuff out of the way. You can see all the wet on the floor there. That's all from my quench oil that spilled everywhere. I fell on top of the propane tank. Somehow narrowly avoided landing on my tongs that were sticking up out of the this bucket here. This is actually really sharp. That would have gone straight through me if I had fallen on that. So I'd be dead. And nobody even heard me like fall out here. So thanks, wife. Thanks for that. I think she heard it. She just didn't want to come save me. So that bucket was kind of over here. The propane tank was here. There was some crap over here. I've got a really small workspace, and the lesson is definitely if you've got a small workspace, keep it at least somewhat clean so you don't almost kill yourself, because I fell on the propane tank. So that could have been bad all in itself. Had a grinder running. Knife went flying up in the air out of my hands. I don't even know like how close it was to falling on me and impaling me with air. I almost impaled my back, like through my shoulders, possibly chest, maybe even my head, on that rebar sticking out from the tongs. Knocked over the oil. So there's that too. Oh, and then to top it all off, so like it was kind of a delayed thing. I was sitting there kind of like, what happened? And then all of a sudden, boom, on the back of my head. My head still hurts. I got a huge knot. Pretty sure I have a concussion, but so it's all good. My forge, which was sitting right here, I think what happened is I grabbed the hose, or my arm caught the hose. So that literally fell off the shelf after I'd already been on the ground, and I was kind of trying to sit back up, and just bashed me in the back of the head. And then I think that it came down on my knee as well. I have not a big gash. I got a little tiny cut on my knee, and it's all swollen and fun today. So yeah, so that was like the universe just tried to assassinate me yesterday. So screw you, universe, because I'm still alive. But yeah, so anyway, so the worst part about that all is that would have been like gold on film. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's the second worst part. The worst part about that is I broke my handle. So after all that work yesterday, this shattered into pieces. I glued back what I could. Still got this notch here. I can't fix that. So what I'm gonna end up doing now, so we're gonna do an experiment. If this experiment fails, I've got this little piece of bone, which I've fit up for the knife, and I can shape this out. So I have that as kind of a backup. I don't know if I'll use it at all with the other design I'm thinking, but if I have it. It's there. So my other plan, before I try that, I'm gonna do an experiment. I've experimented with smelting metals before, If you've watched some of my older videos, which were pretty much garbage, you've seen me trying to smelt aluminum cans in this little tiny little crucible. It didn't go so well in those attempts. I could never get the mold to set properly. I did buy some what's that sand called? The molding sand. I don't remember what it's called now. Again, not a professional smelting for sure, or casting rather. But I have some of that sand. Trying to let it dry out a little bit now to get to the right consistency. But I'm just gonna mold like a rectangular block. I'm gonna cut up some copper, and I'm gonna put that in my crucible. Turn the forge on like 11 and let it ride. And then I'm going to try to do a pour into that. See if I can get some cast copper. Did I say copper or did I say aluminum? I meant copper. Copper pipe. Whatever I said, I don't know. Copper pipe. We're going to cut up some copper pipe, cast that. Hopefully we'll end up with a copper bolster. And I actually like that idea a lot anyway, because I really need to cut like all this off, even below where the pin is. But I don't know. I don't know yet. I'm going to try to work with what I've got. I'm definitely going to have to trim it down. I'm going to try to keep it pinned so that there's more support for the handle itself. And hopefully once the epoxy's in there, everything works out. I'm not planning on selling this one at this point. This is just going to go in my kitchen basically, because I'm not going to sell something that was broken and partially repaired, because I know that with the materials and the equipment that I have, I don't think that I can properly repair this up to a standard which I'd be comfortable selling it. So this is going to be a personal knife at this point now, but it's still cool. I do have the other half of that block, which is still freaking beautiful. So I've got that. So on my next one that I do, next hidden tang knife that I do, I can use that block and we can try to sell that piece. So that being said, we're going to jump in and we're going to do some smelting today, and try to get that bolster out, and then hopefully we can get a good fit up all around. So that is the plan. Unfortunately, everything just went to pot yesterday, and I don't have footage of the accident, so most of the footage is really boring, so I'm just going to scrap that, and we're just going to jump in today and start fresh. Sounds like a plan, right? Okay, we've got some copper. We're going to throw it in the forge, cook it up, and dump in our mold. I've never been able to do this successfully before, so keep that in mind. Fire is starting to turn a little green. I think that's a good sign. Yep, it's starting to melt, so we'll see if we can get some decent product out of it. Okay, it's totally liquid. I'm gonna pull it out and go for a pour. Okay, so that worked crazy well, and I got more than enough copper for the next part of my bolster. So I'm super stoked about that. That was cool. I'm gonna shape this up real quick, and then we can start drilling it out and filing it. Making slow and painful progress. Okay, so the bone wasn't working out, so I did some stacked leather in between the copper bolster. I think it's gonna work out pretty well. So that's it overall. I just have to put the finishing touches on it. Alright, I'm about ready to call this one done. Still have a lot of hand sanding to do, but I don't have the sandpaper in my stock right now, so I'm gonna hit this handle with some boiled linseed oil. Oops. see it come to life. Alright, so I'm dubbing this the cursed blade for all the trouble that it caused me. Left that rough end on there. So, copper bolster. I gotta polish that up, but not too shabby. Stacked leather right behind it. Alright guys, so that was the Hidden Tang kitchen knife, which was going to be a chef's knife, but started to get away from me there and didn't turn into one. So I was going to start just making it into a kitchen knife. Then I almost died making it. So that is the cursed kitchen knife. I'll get this all hand sanded up and we'll post some more pictures on Instagram, but for now this knife is done and it's just going to be fine tuning from here. So thank you for watching so much. Please like and subscribe. Check me out on Instagram, check me out on Patreon, and I will see you guys in the next video.